Hey guys, I'm Dina. This is Creative Minds Homeschool. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to tell y'all about our experience with year-round homeschooling. This was our first year doing it, and I just want to kind of tell you some pros and cons that we experienced and kind of overall what we thought about it and what we're going to do in the years coming. Okay, so let me start off by saying I'll just explain to you how we did year-round schooling, because there are like endless ways to do it, I guess. Just depends on whatever works for you. We started the last week of July, and we took 2 weeks off in September, a week off in November, a week off at the end of December and the beginning of January. So like that was a 2-week back-to-back. 2 weeks off in March, a week off in May, a week off in June, and then we're gonna take 3 weeks off in July and hop right back into school. So, and we alternated all those weeks between there. We alternated 4-day weeks and 5-day weeks. In a perfect world, we would do 4-day weeks every week and never do a 5-day week of school. But because we have to do 180 days by law in our state, we can't fit all those days in if we just take 4-day weeks. We can't take long breaks and do 4-day weeks, put it that way. And so I'm just going to go through with you and kind of tell you what we enjoyed about this schedule. Okay, first thing is less burnout. And I'll just say every year that I've homeschooled, which this is our, I don't know what year, at least 4, if not 5. If you count pre-K, it'd be 5. Every year, you'd get, the first time it was like May, then it was like April, and then it was like June. I would just start getting extremely burned out, like to the point of telling my husband, we need to look into public school. We need to look into DVD school. Where's the escape pod? Calgon, take me away. I can't do this anymore. Like every single year I've gotten to that point. Not this year, which is a miracle. Awesome. And I'm so thankful that that's the case. Okay, that being said, let me just add too that I also had a baby right before we started this year, and like 7 months of postpartum depression and anxiety. So the fact that I'm not burned out this year, it really is a miracle. Yes, I have gotten frustrated at times, but nothing like I've experienced these previous years. So that's wonderful. That's a huge, huge plus for us. The second thing is outside time. During the summer, my kids do not want to go outside. We live where it's extremely hot in the summertime. You know, you can only go outside during the daytime if you have a popsicle in your hand, and you know, that only lasts 5 minutes. So it's not like we have a pool in our backyard that we can hang out in a pool all the time. You know, yeah, we might can have a water balloon fight sometimes, or a sprinkler, you know, but that just doesn't last very long, and they're ready to come in and not be burning up hot. So in the 2 weeks we took off in the spring and fall, my kids spent almost every waking minute outside, doing all the outside things that they love to do in and around our yard. You know, it was a better time to go if we were going to go to the park, you know, that kind of thing. So we had more outside time, if you think about it. Let's see. They don't need as much review. I feel like we're ending this year and we're about to, you know, have a 3-week break and hop right back in the next one. I feel so good about the fact that those first few weeks of school are going to be review, so it's going to naturally be a gentle start to school, because we don't usually gentle start. I usually just pop us right in there and we hit it hard. I almost feel like even though we're going to start school, it's going to naturally be easy just because they've just gotten done. They don't need a review. So, yay, it's like built-in gentle start. That's a very huge plus. Let's see. More frequent breaks. I think we all liked the time that we had off, and just, it seemed like every time they came, it was like, oh, it's like we can push through one more week and then we get a whole 2 weeks off. That was good. And even getting back to school after those breaks, I think it was easier somehow. I don't know. I think just the whole thing, it worked. Let's see. My cons are I just have 2 cons, and where I had less burnout, I would say going into the next year, I have less enthusiasm, just because we're not even done with school yet. So I haven't hit my big long summer break that I usually would have, that lets me recuperate and plan. Though I'm not a planner, you know, usually those brain cells start coming back and I can kind of think about the next year. Kind of having to do double duty because I'm teaching school and those brain cells are already going, wait, you know, you got to order curriculum, you got to start thinking about what's coming. So I have less burnout, but also less enthusiasm for the next year. I'm not like, woohoo, we're starting a new grade, la la la. Now, maybe when school supplies come out, it'll hit me, but it hadn't hit me yet. So that's kind of a, And then my other con was every other year I've made it so that we got out of school 2 weeks before everyone else. And I just love that feeling of, we're done. Ha ha, we are so done. I don't have that this year. Everyone started getting out of school, the people that we know in public school, and just, you know, Facebook or wherever you see people getting out of school, and I'm just like, oh, we have 20 more days. Like, you know, so if you can call that momentary feeling of a summer slump, you know, yeah, I experienced like a moment of that, just like, oh. But then it was quickly easy to go, hey, and if I see the light at the end of the tunnel and we're coming to it. So, yeah. So those are my pros and cons. And I'll say, I think this style is working for our family, this schedule or whatever you want to call it. I think it's working. So we are going to keep going with it this coming year. Probably will plan very similarly, only we're dropping co-op. We're not planning to do co-op this coming fall, not a formal co-op anyway. So we'll see how it goes and how we feel like when we get to that mid-year break. Okay, I have one more side note for you. The way we got our 3-week break in July was creatively done. Basically, some of that 2 weeks off we took in the spring and fall, we did a couple days of like educational field trippy things. Kind of like like one of them we went and saw a battleship and, you know, did the tour and all that of the battleship and like an aviation, not graveyard, but, you know, a museum, not a graveyard. Like we did that. So we had a train museum we went to, you know, so those, even though we were on vacation, I counted that as school time because it was very educational. So I just allotted how many ever hours. We've been listening to educational CDs in our van. Like we've been listening to the Diana Waring history series. So as we're driving, when we log hours, I count that as history hours because my kids are engaged in it. They're asking questions about it. They're commenting about it. They talk about it at the dinner table. They're interested in it. So I'm like, hey, educational. So, you know, when we go to the library on an off, like a day that's not a school day, a scheduled school day, I count that time. If we were at the library for an hour, that counts towards school. And basically, I just put it at the end. Like, I logged those hours when we ended up with a day. I wrote the dates, like all these days that we did educational things added up to a day, and I knocked it off the end of our summer. So we ended up knocking off, I think like 3 or 4 days off of the end of our year by logging hours outside of our normal school time. So I just wanted to in case you sat down and try to figure that out, like how'd they come up with that 3-week break? That's how we did it. So, you know, to me, sometimes you just kind of have to be creative, just because I wanted a bigger break than 2 weeks that we were going to end up with. And it worked out. I mean, my kids got education in just other forms, and hey, whatever works, right? All right, that was my disclaimer there. So if you like this video, feel free to give it some love, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I love to hear from my peeps, so y'all hit me up.